Charlotte is craving cookies, but she is at work. So she places an online order to have delicious cookies delivered to her office. Little does she know, she'll never taste those cookies. As it turns out, the delivery driver did arrive at the address provided. However, there were several buildings at this address, each housing different companies, and Charlotte, of course, forgot to provide the building's door number. Without the door number, it's impossible to know where to deliver the package. This situation mirrors the way data exchanges occur between machines on a network. For instance, on a single machine, whether it's a computer or a server, multiple applications can run simultaneously, like a browser, a mail application, and an FTP file transfer application. With just the IP address, we can identify the server hosting these applications, but we can't determine which application should receive the data packets. This is where having port numbers assigned to each application becomes crucial. The combination of an IP address and a port is referred to as a unique address, called a socket. The IP address uniquely identifies a machine on the network, while the port number identifies the application intended for the data. So, when the machine receives information destined for a specific port, the data is sent to the corresponding application. However, these ports can't be used haphazardly. Ports from 0 to 1023 are known as well-known ports and are reserved for system processes. These ports are associated with specific services on a server, designated by network administrators. Ports from 1024 to 49151 are called registered ports. These ports are assigned to specific services upon request by organizations. Ports from 49152 to 65535 are dynamic and/or private ports, used for dynamically allocating ephemeral ports during a connection's duration or for private or customized services. You'll often hear about well-known ports the most. Now, let's dive into the concept of protocols. For data to be sent between two machines, they must speak the same language, the protocol. Each reserved port is associated with an application layer protocol. This application protocol defines the communication rules for the application, such as message types, message syntax, sending and receiving rules, etc. For example, the application protocol associated with port 80 is HTTP. Via port 80, a computer's browser requests web pages from a remote server to display them to the user. Port 21 is used for FTP file transmission between two machines using the FTP protocol on port 21. Port 25 is associated with SMTP, for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, used for sending emails. Port 53 is reserved for DNS, for Domain Name System, which associates domain names with IP addresses. Port 67 is for DHCP, for Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, automatically assigning an IP address and subnet mask to a connected machine. Lastly, know that application protocols rely on the services of the Transport Layer Protocol, which is the fourth layer in the OSI model. These transport protocols manage network flow control and error handling.